Okay, we are starting now. Well, it's a couple of minutes, but I restarted the recording. So welcome everybody might still come in. And I know some of you can't be here live, but you all will receive the recording after the class. So I'm excited, I'm happy to be here teaching a Zoom class. That's actually my first Zoom class ever. I used to teach on Facebook Live during the pandemic. So when we had the lockdown, I started doing that. And I taught tons and tons of classes on Facebook Live. But there was no direct way to talk to people. So here we actually can talk to each other directly. So I'm really excited to have made that next step in technology. Also for me now to actually charge something for my classes, which is very reasonable. It costs only $12 for the yoga class. I will hang out after the class for 20, 30 minutes for you to be able to talk to me, ask me questions about health, maybe about yoga, maybe you have trouble with poses, or you have problems with sleep or anxiety or digestion, anything that has to do with health. I will do my best to answer your questions. And so that's, like I said, my first Zoom class as an Ayurvedic health counselor. So I have a lot more knowledge about holistic health. Yoga and Ayurveda are considered the sister sciences because they go hand in hand, they help each other, they support each other. So when as a Ayurvedic counselor, I might suggest a yoga pose to somebody or a breathing technique, because that's also the arsenal of Ayurveda, is the yoga teachings. So for anybody who doesn't know me and maybe see this recording later, my name is Irmi Presudo. I'm a certified yoga teacher for many years. I teach since 2008, and I am just recently graduated from the Ayurvedic Institute. And now I'm an Ayurvedic health counselor. I studied with Dr. Lad. If you're familiar with him, you know that he's a brilliant, brilliant Ayurvedic physician. He's an amazing person. He's very kind, compassionate, very knowledgeable. Whatever question we ever asked him in the classes, there was no hesitation for the answer. Like he's in him, he is a living book. And he has so much experience, like 60 years of experience as an Ayurvedic practitioner, physician. He is amazing. And he is also a little psychic in my opinion. So he has a really good, knowing of things without knowing them from you. Yeah, it is amazing. So I had the privilege studying with him for 1 entire year. And I'm very, very grateful to have had this experience. And now I'm back starting to teach, starting to work with people, and starting to bring it out to the world. I'm super excited. I can't help it. I just cannot help it. Even if I try to do something else, I can't. I always come back to yoga and Ayurveda. I'm an artist, though. I like to paint also. I'm very much, makes me very happy. And that's part of my life too. And I also actually integrate art into my therapies, so into counseling, if that's appropriate, if somebody has a desire or a need to have a releasing, creative way to stay in this flow space for a little while. It could be painting, it could be crocheting, it could be music, it could be gardening, it could be cooking, whatever it might be that brings you into a meditative space, basically. And I also implement that. And I will also in the future, and I have done it in the past, actually. I also taught art classes for relaxation and well-being. So it's 11. Let's get started with the class. Like I said, if you're listening to the recording, you will get it after the class. So it's first time, so I hope everything works. I'm now moved to Asheville, North Carolina, so I'm in a new space. It's raining today. It's raining cats and dogs. It's a brilliant November day. I love it. I love being out of the Florida heat and out of the dryness of New Mexico, where I lived for a year. I lived over 20 years in Florida. I lived a year in New Mexico, totally opposite climates. Both of them are not very suitable for my body type. And here now in Asheville, in North Carolina, with the 4-season climate, it already feels so much better. I love the rain. I love the calmness of the rain, the nourishment. I love the cooler weather. So we are all a little different. If you like cooler weather, you are maybe a certain body type. If you always feel cold and you really want to be in the warmth all the time, you are a different body type. So it is actually a natural constitution. We all have a little bit of different makeup from the same elements, but that individuality, that individual makeup makes us all tick a little bit differently. And Ayurveda is really brilliant in explaining that, how it works. And it's a science, it's very much a science. And it explains the laws of nature and how they apply to our lives, to our body, how to eat better for our body type, and what climates are good for us, what climates are not so favorable. And we feel it, instinctively. We know, oh, I don't like this, I like this. But there's actually a reason for that. And it also explains why other people might not like that. And it's not because they're picky or they are annoying, but it's because they have a different makeup. And so when we understand that, we can also have more compassion with each other. Okay, let's get started. So we start seated. You might be able to sit in the easy pose or cross-legged position, but you might want to stretch the legs forward if that's comfortable. I'm sitting on a pillow, so that's always helpful. I have a couple of blankets. Maybe you need a little bit more height. So just make yourself comfortable. I also have a chair here because I'm going to do some balancing poses, and some of you might want to have a little help with that. So I'm going to incorporate the chair for that. So if you want to, we still have a little time here. You can grab a chair near to you, or if you have a piece of furniture close to you where you could hold on, that would work too. So wherever you're comfortable now, if you're on the pillow or on the blanket, let the pelvis drop forward. So we sit right on the edge of the pillow or the blanket, and that allows the pelvis to drop forward, the arms come down, the shoulders drop and relax. And then close the eyes if you like. And just allow yourself to sink into your seat. Maybe a nice big exhale through the mouth. The inhale is always through the nose to filter and warm the air. But if it feels good, especially in the beginning of the class, to release the stress, you can exhale through your mouth. Even a sigh might come out. This is called the psychological sigh because it allows the breath to come out, a sound. And with the sound, there's an emotion. You can hear the, there's the emotion of relief. So there's so much in the breath. There's a sound, there's an intensity, there's a depth. The breath can tell us so much. And let's just roll the head a little bit from side to side, from one shoulder to the other, like a half circle in the front. Just from one side to the other. Just to loosen up in the neck. And then Come back to neutral. Take another deep breath here. Yes. Let it out. The breath, the sigh, the sound, the emotion. And now drop to one side or the other, and then we do the half circle in the back. So roll the head the same way, but in the back. And if that's uncomfortable and you don't want to go back, maybe you had an injury in the neck or you have pain here right now, then don't do it in the back, and then just go forward again and do it in the forward on the front. The arms relax, the shoulders. You can separate the lips. And then bring the head back to center and take a nice deep breath. Take a moment, feel your spine, the length of the spine. And now we drop forward again. And this time we're going to roll all the way around if that's comfortable for you. That's a whole circle. And again, circular motion all the way around, if possible. If it's not possible, do side to side, then come forward, pause, and take a deep breath. And let's go the other way. Roll the circle into the other direction if you can, or only in the front, or maybe only in the back. 2 times. Then come forward, pause, and hang the head and breathe. And then we bring the head back to neutral. Good job. Nice deep breath. And let's roll the shoulders so they come up and back, shoulder blades towards each other, and then forward and towards each other, and up and back and down. So drawing 2 circles backwards right now, okay? And then we come forward and up, and then pause, and now we go the other way, forward and down, and back and up, and forward and down, and back and up. And let's do one more. And then the next time we come up, pause and squeeze. Squeeze the shoulders, exhale, drop. Inhale. Exhale. And one more, inhale. And exhale, let go. Yes, very nice, brilliant. Relax. Feel your body, feel your breath. Nice job. Now let's do a motion with the entire torso. So we're gonna roll the entire torso on top of the pelvis, keeping the spine long. So we're not rounding the spine. We're just gonna kind of pivot on top of the pelvis, one or the other way, it doesn't matter. Just make it feel good. The circle can be big or small. Yes. Nice audible breath. Don't be afraid of your breath. Don't be afraid of the sound of your breath. It's naturally your life. And pause and go the other direction now. So we're just warming up the spine, the pelvis, the shoulders. Make it feel good and easy going. And let's do one more round. And then slowly come settle back to your center and take a deep breath. Nice. And always in between, when we pause, you want to feel the body, like you want to feel what it is feeling now. The pauses are really important. In the pauses, that's where healing happens. That's always what my teacher says. And then we're going to drop the belly forward and the chest and lift the chin. So bowing the spine forward and down. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it actually better. So it looks like this. Inhale and exhale opposite direction. Roll back. Drop the chin. Hold the hands against the knees. Inhale, belly, chest. Lift the chin. And exhale, roll back. Inhale forward, belly, chest, lift the chin. Exhale, roll back. And inhale, neutral. Exhale. Great. Nice job. So the breath, the exhale, transport tensions out of the body. That's why it's so important to breathe freely. Inhale, we draw life force in, oxygen, life force, prana, it's called in yoga. In Sanskrit language, prana is life force, the stuff that everything is made out of. It's not oxygen. Oxygen is a little bit different, but oxygen is part of it. Oxygen is part of the air. Oxygen is part of prana, likes oxygen, but prana is something else. And a good example is, let's say there is a dead body and you would pump oxygen into this body, it would not come alive. The oxygen itself would not make this person alive, but because the prana, the life force is gone, the life is out of it. So that's an easy way to see the difference between prana and oxygen. And of course, oxygen is important because oxygen and prana, they travel together, but it's not the same. Next inhale, arms come out and up, hands touch above, lengthen. Then exhale, right hand comes to the right, and then we're gonna lean over to the right, left arm alongside the left ear, a little bend on that right elbow, and then look up if you can towards the left arm, or let the head hang, whatever feels better. So side bend, opening the side body, the torso. Deepest breath. And then inhale up and center. Exhale, left hand to the left, and then lean to the left. Left arm, elbow is bending. Right arm alongside the ear. Look up if possible. Otherwise, just relax your head. Keep the right hip down. So we don't want to lift up here. Otherwise, we lose the stretch. And then inhale up. Hands touch. Exhale to the right again. Same movement to the right. Bring that right shoulder down, so you don't want to squeeze like this. Relax the shoulder by bending the right elbow. And then there is a length of stretch here on the left arm. And that stretch goes into the side of the torso, into the hip, and even into the thigh on the left. So big opening stretch. Inhale, center, hands touch. Exhale, left hand down, over to the left. Reach with the right, bend the left arm and feel the stretch on the right side, torso, hip, maybe the thigh. And maybe you feel it in your neck or in your side of your face. You know, we are all a little different. It depends where the prana needs to flow, where life force wants to flow. And then inhale up and exhale down. Nice breath. Nice job. Now, let's come onto the hands and knees. I take my socks off now. If you have socks on, you might be somewhere where it's nice and warm and you don't need even socks. Okay, let's remove the pillow or the blanket. We come onto the hands and knees. And we're gonna go into the table pose for a moment. So if you have trouble on your knees, we're not gonna stay first of all, we're not gonna stay very long, but you can take your blanket now and put the blanket on the floor and just under the knees. So you have a little bit cushioning here and it just helps to protect and soften here. It feels good. And then simply inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, opposite direction, chin to the chest, roll the spine up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now, if you like, you can like roll a little bit make a circle with the torso. Whatever feels good, you can go from side to side or all the way back or a little bit more forward. Just like play a little bit with that movement, with this pose, just to loosen up. Maybe the neck wants to roll a little bit more. Maybe it wants to hang the head. And then let's go one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, cat stretch. Inhale, cat lift. And exhale. This time we sit back. Bring the knees open a little bit more and into the child's pose. So there's also ways here to modify. If you can bring the buttocks all the way down, you might want to stay on the knees a little bit like this. Make fists of your hands and rest your forehead. What I forgot to bring is the blocks. So if you have a yoga block, then that would be the place to bring it under the head. So that is a way to modify, and or you can go all the way down, bringing the arms forward if it feels good. Maybe wiggle a little bit from side to side. Nice. One more breath here. Nice. And then we slowly come up. Curl the toes and push up into down dog. You can take the pillow or the blanket away now. And just stretch it all out. So downward facing dog. If that's not accessible to you, you can stay in the table pose for now. So you can stay right here and maybe keep on moving a little bit. Or you can come up into down dog. And if you're here in down dog, you can walk the feet out, walking the dog, stretching the feet, the legs, keeping the head hanging. Press the hands forward and away from you. Deep breath. Fantastic. And now we're going to just simply walk to the top of the mat. Or if you are in the table pose, just make yourself into a forward bend. And then inhale, let's roll it up. Arms come out and up, hands touch straight up, lengthening the spine. Exhale, float to side. Nice job. I'm looking at the Blue Ridge Parkway, the forest, the wild forest here. The wind is blowing. It's so beautiful. So I'm so blessed. And you are too. I'm happy to share this with you. Let's take a moment, feel your feet sinking into the earth. So that's another thing I wanted to share with you, that the elements, the five main elements, like the earth, we are always connected to the earth. We are always experiencing the earth. Like right now, we feel the feet on the ground. That gives us stability of the earth. The breath is the air element coming in and out of the body all the time. Breath coming into spaces in the body, like the lungs, the rib cage, are spaces that can be filled and emptied. Next inhale, arms come out and up, hands touch, let's stretch. Little bit of back bend if it feels good. And then on the exhale, we reach forward and down. Nice and slow. So here you can modify, adjust your feet hip width. You can come with the hands to your thighs or with the hands to your shins, or the hands, the fingertips to the floor. So there's a few options. What we want to do here is just stretch the spine out. And then you can fold, let the head hang wherever you are, let the shoulders relax. Little softness in the knees so the torso can fold. And then inhale, maybe lengthen up. Maybe you want to try, and if you're on your thighs, maybe you can come just an inch a little further, maybe down, maybe a little bit more. Just play. It's not like how far we can go. It's about how does it feel in the body? How is it expanding me? How can I make more space for prana to come in? And then inhale, we roll up. Press your feet down, soften the knees. See how I bend my knees here? And then with the strength of the feet, as if you press the earth away from you, we just slowly come up. Arms come out and up, lengthening upwards. Exhale, come down. Back to mountain and relax. Yes. So nice feeling in the feet, grounding into the earth. So grounding into the earth, making contact with the earth, which is very stable and grounding and grows in the sense of the opposite of subtle. It's very supportive. So that connection to the earth balances the air element in the body. So the air element can make us lightheaded and forgetful and nervous and anxious, like the air creates this uneasement in the body if there's too much of it. So by grounding, we balance the lightness of the air with the supportive heaviness of the earth. So that's how Ayurveda balances the elements. Now let's take your chair. I'm gonna bring my chair forward here so you can see what I'm doing. You don't need it maybe, but I just want to use it for security for any of you that might need that, which is totally fine. So we're gonna do the tree pose. So we stand behind the chair, bring the weight to the right foot, and then I'm gonna show it from the front, and then bring the left foot on the top of the right ankle. And actually you can do it right there. You can just hold on to the chair like this. So that's maybe a better way to show it. And then you can bring it into the calf, or if you hold on to the chair, you can bring it all the way up into the inside of your thigh. And simply the left hand to the left hip. Now we want to straighten out the pelvis a little bit. So you don't want to lean back or sideways. So pelvis straight forward, holding onto the chair with one hand or not. If you feel comfortable, you can let go. You can try a little bit. And you can bring the arms up and out if you like, or you can bring them in the hands into the prayer position. You can bring them to the hips or to the chair, whatever works. Also very grounding, because we have that very precious connection with only one foot on the ground. It's also invigorating. So if there's a lot of heaviness in the body, if you feel heavy or tired or sluggish, then the tree pose is very invigorating because it wakes us up. We really need to focus on balancing. Either full pose or use the chair. It's fantastic. Spread your fingers so the hands are activated. Ah, yes, breathe. Let's take one more breath. You can close the eyes if you have the hand on the chair. If the hand is off the chair, it's very hard to balance. I never can keep my eyes closed if I bring my arms up. If I close my eyes here, it gets very wobbly. That's okay. We can keep them open. And then slowly come down. Bring the hands down first, then the foot. And we come back into the mountain pose and take a nice breath. Ah, fantastic. Just feel the both feet. Again, we want to feel the ground, the earth, bringing the vata, the air element down in the body. So stress is very high vata. Stress is a lot of air in the body. Because of stress, we bring a lot of air in because we're running around, we're thinking about this and that, we're doing this and that, 10 things at the same time. That aggravates the air. It swirls the air inside. It brings a lot of air in, and then we get nervous, anxious, lightheaded, and even dry. Too much air dries out. So now I move the chair to the other side. So because I do the same on the other side now. So we're gonna bring the left hand to the chair now, both feet parallel to each other. And now the weight goes to the left foot. So I sink over a little bit already and then bring the right foot, the right heel above the left ankle. That's the first station of the tree. You can stay here. Actually, you can stay here and then just bring the hands together maybe. Hips again forward. You don't want to be like this or like that. So the hips are nice and leveled, and we also don't want to sink to the side. So you want to be nice and long and straight. And now you can try if you want to bring the foot into the inside of the calf with the hand or without the hand. And then you can also go into your inner thigh. And then you can, again, experiment. Bring the arms up if you like. Bring the hands to prayer position. Find your pose. You don't have to move the hands all around. I just show you options. And of course, very stabilizing is the chair. That's why I brought the chair today. And then we want to experience the breath. We want to experience the fullness, the depth of the breath. We want to know that we are alive. Breath is life. Find your pose one more time, or try another one. Spread the fingers, engage the arms, the hands, the fingers. Gaze to the floor for stability. And then we bring it down simply. Arms come down first, and then the foot, and we come back to mountain. Relax. Sink into your feet, softness in the knees. As if you sink into the clay of the earth with the exhale. Make a little dent into the earth with your exhale. Notice how the body is softening. The skin softens. The face, the tongue, the shoulders, the spine. And enjoy this softness, enjoy this opening. Softening is opening. Tightness is contraction. Expansion is always soft. Very nice, beautiful job. I bring the chair out of my way and you can do the same. And then we're gonna stay standing. If you have a drink, it's a good time maybe to take a sip of water. It's always a excuse me, always a good idea to have some water with you when you do yoga. Now we go to the top of the mat again. We're gonna step the left foot back about 3-4 feet. So the front heel is in line with the back of the arch. That's what I always say for 15, 16 years. And I'm not getting tired of it either because it's a good lineup. And then we bend the front knee and bring it over the ankle. So my shin is straight. So we go into a warrior position for the legs. And then again, we bring the hands to the hips and turn the pelvis forward. So you turn the pelvis towards your right foot. And just do the best you can. It might not go all the way. It's fine. We just do what we can. And then the back foot, the outside edge of the back foot is pressing down. So we really stretch that back leg. And then just gaze forward at eye level. I gaze into the forest. Maybe you gaze out the window. Maybe you gaze to your wall. Maybe you gaze to a painting, maybe you see a bird outside. Whatever the gaze is going now, just allow it to go. Let the gaze go gently. Soft gaze, so we're not staring, relaxing the eyes. Nice breath. So this is strengthening the leg muscles. You can feel their thighs are very hard. The belly is engaged. The abdominal muscles are engaged here. So it looks like not much, but actually all the lower part of the body, including the abdomen, is engaged here and getting strengthened and toned. Shoulders are relaxed. Spine is long. And now let's bring the arms out and up on the inhale. And then exhale, we go warrior 2. So the arms come sideways and parallel to the floor. Keeping the front knee over the ankle, keeping that pressing into the back side of your mat, the back foot. And then we gaze to the right hand. Now the eyes have a gaze, a focal point to the hand, the front hand, this one. Hello. And then warrior 2 engages the upper body more. So we spread the arms away from the chest, from the spine. This is good for the spine opening the lungs, creating space for the lungs. More air can come in, more prana. And then let's stretch the front leg out. And then we're gonna reach that right hand forward, 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 starting to tilt the upper body. And then you bring the right hand maybe to your thigh. And the left arm goes straight up. So keeping the shoulder relaxed, or you can do this here. That would be a great way to modify. You can bring the hand to the shin, maybe to the inside of the ankle here, or the block, which I forgot, then I'm very sorry about that. And then, so the arms reach away from each other, but you can easily modify with your forearm if you don't have a block either. This is a great way to modify. You can look up to the upper hand or let the head hang if it feels better. Yes. Nice exhales, nice sighs, releasing tension, emotions, held emotions come out. Find your place. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just giving you different options here. And then slowly we bring the arms up, parallel to the floor. So we bend the front knee again, go back to warrior two. Now exhale, hands come forward and touch. Inhale up, warrior one with the arms up. And then exhale, we're gonna step forward to the top of the mat, a mountain pose. And relax. And you can stay here, just get my blocks. Oh, I don't have any. Okay. They're not here. I'm sorry. I thought they were here, but they're not here. I'm sorry. So now we're going to step the right foot back. So, and I'm just going to go to the other side so you don't have to look at me from the back. So right foot back, left foot forward, bend the left knee over the ankle, front heel aligns with the back arch. You might have to walk the feet away from each other or towards each other, whatever. You want to feel the pelvis sinking into the floor here. And then we bend the front knee, hands to the hips, turning the pelvis forward towards the left foot, pressing the back foot, the outside of the back foot into the mat. I feel a little bit too wide, so I move back. And then we are in warrior one on the other side. Gaze at eye level. Relax into the feet. And as we hold the pose, we are strengthening the legs, the abdomen, the entire lower part of the body. So by now you maybe start to get a little bit hot or sweaty, which is great. It's detoxifying. And now this is experiencing the fire element in the body. The fire element is responsible for body temperature. So that is the fire inside that we are creating now, heating up a little bit. Allowing the body to sweat maybe, or getting hot at least. When we start to sweat, then the water element gets involved. The sweat comes out of the pores. And let's bring the arms up on the inhale, hands touch. Exhale, warrior two, left hand forward, right hand back. So we go into warrior two on the other side. Look to the left hand, front hand, this one, hello. And pressing the back foot in. And this way now we can look to the left hand. Deepest breath. Strengthening the leg muscles, the abdomen. You can pull the belly in a little bit, so not so much leaning into the belly, but pulling in the belly, strengthen the abdomen, helping digestion. Now, the other way we experience the water is, of course, saliva, the blood and the plasma is mostly water, so that's the water in the body. Now let's stretch the front leg out. Inhale, and then exhale, reach the front hand, and then slowly come down to the leg. Again, you can modify on the thigh, right arm straight up. You can go to the shin or to the inside of your ankle, or if you have a block, the block would be on the inside of your left foot. You can also use a pillow, actually, and that helps. So see how my arms reach away from each other, and they're also in a line with each other. And it just needs to feel good to you. Maybe you feel a really nice stretch in your lower back. If it's a little bit too much, come up. Still keeping that arm up. Maybe it can go here. So it's all about finding a place to breathe. Yes. Let's take one more breath. And then let's come up, arms come up, parallel, bend the front knee. We go back to warrior two. Exhale, hands come forward and touch. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, step to the top of your mat and back into mountain pose. So I go back to the front of the mat here. And let's enjoy this length in the body, in the legs, in the spine. Your breath open. Lots of exchange of oxygen and CO2. So the breath is nourishing and detoxifying. Feel your heartbeat. So we are pumping the blood, pumping the water through the body, the water element in the blood, in the plasma, in the lymph. So lots going on with those poses. The whole biochemistry of the body is invigorated and active. Not just the body itself, but all the juices and the emotions and the mind, the thoughts, everything is in motion. But in balance with each other. So let's bring the feet hip width. Toes a little bit outwards. Maybe I turn forward. No. And then we're just gonna drop the head and roll the spine down. One vertebra at a time. So here, you can like lean onto your thighs with your forearms. That's a great way to modify. You can bring the hips a little bit further down, maybe like that. And maybe, so those are kind of good options right here, wherever it might work for you, maybe even here with the hands on the thighs. So again, engaging the legs, engaging the abdomen. If you can come all the way down into the squat. And now I turn forward so you see it better. So that would be the full pose here. If you're all the way down, the elbows come on the inside of your knees, hands touch. So that would be the full pose. But like I said, there is several options here. And take the place that is usable for you, that is accessible for you. The breath is always the indicator. So maybe you are here. Maybe you are here. Fantastic. Let the head relax, the shoulders. Nice deep breath here, wherever you are. And then wherever you are, we're gonna make the way to the floor now. So if you are modified, you just bend your knees and come onto the floor. And I like to now take a pillow, actually, and spread the pillow, another blanket, I mean, spread the blanket and sit on the blanket because it's softer. And for me, it's a little bit warmer too. Like I said, you might not be in a colder place, but I don't mind putting socks on. I like the cold. I don't like to be cold, but I like the colder temperatures. So let's just stretch the legs out, shake them a little bit, wiggle them into the staff position. Yes, again, feel the pose, feel the body, feel the breath. The spine, the heartbeat, the calmness in your mind, the soothing in the emotions. And then we're gonna roll down to the floor. So we're gonna just make our way down, bring the arms forward for a counterbalance. And then if you need the arms for help, of course, you use them. Maybe I should go the other way, then it's not so dark. So just bring the head down, and it's good to bring the head onto the floor and the blanket right by the shoulders here. So there's no kink in the, like, I don't like it when the blanket is right here by the shoulders. You want to have that line of the blanket in that hollow space in the neck. There you go. And then let's bring the knees up and into the chest, wrap the arms around. Let the spine sink into the floor. Yes, it feels so amazing. Relaxing the spine, relaxing the nervous system, just calming life down here. The spinal cord is in the spinal column, and that is our basically a big part of our nervous system. So when we make the connection with the earth again, spine, earth, nervous system. The nervous system is governed by the air element, so that's why we can get easily nervous and, you know, fluctuate in the mood, because every little influence can affect our nervous system. So again, when we relax into the earth, into the solidness of the earth, the supportiveness of the earth, it balances the air out. The mobility and the anxious movements of the air, the erratic movements of the air getting balanced by the solidity, by the stability of the earth element. And you can feel it right now, how the spine, the nerves starting to soothe and calm. Yeah, and you notice how the breath deepens and evens out and gets longer and deeper, instead of being all anxious and jittery. Keep the arms around the shins if it feels good, or you can also bring them behind your thighs. That helps also. You want to feel really that connection to the ground with your spine. It's warm on the blanket, so warmth is really soothing to calm the air inside of the body, because naturally the air is considered cold. If it doesn't get warmed up by anything, it's cold. So warmth is also good to balance the anxious feelings. Now let's drop the knees to the left, right arm to the right. So we go into the final spinal twist. You can bring a pillow underneath your knees or a block. So if they are not going all the way down, you can support that. Looking into the opposite direction though, so we twist. Twists are deep and they invigorate the digestive system. And then inhale up and exhale, drop to the left and look to the, now drop the knees to the right, I'm sorry, and look to the left. So opposite direction. Wherever you were first, go into the other direction. And then we look over to the hand on the left. And slowly roll back onto your spine. Exhale, drop the knees into the chest one more time. Feel the connection to the earth again. Releasing down into the ground. And you can bring the legs up now, point the toes, arms by the sides. And there's a couple of options here too. You can start to float the legs down slowly like that. If that's a little much, you can bend your knees and just bring the feet down like that. Or you bend the knees, stretch them out, the legs again, and then keep on floating. Or you just keep the knees bent and stretch the legs out, whatever works. And we go into the relaxation pose, so into the corpse pose, Shavasana. Feet are hip width apart, feet flare out. Arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Maybe roll out the neck one more time, chin tucked forward. Close the eyes if you like. And let's go into the relaxation phase. If you need a blanket on the top, you can put a blanket on top of your body. Again, you want to be warm, cozy, taken care of here. And then just enjoy this relaxation. Enjoy the floor, the ground, the breath. Stay in your pose. I just sit up so you can hear me maybe better. You're still in the relaxation pose, in the corpse pose, enjoying that space that you created. Relax the face, the tongue. Maybe a smile comes to the face. And let's take a little bit of deeper breath now. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. We come back into the room. And then slowly make your way to the right side, roll over, bring the knees into the chest, into a fetal position. Take your time. And whenever you are ready, come back into your seated position, either into the easy pose, or you stretch the legs forward, whatever works. And we allow the eyes to slowly open. And that was our yoga class for today. Thank you for joining. Everybody who is watching this later, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. And I wish you a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever that might be for you right now. Namaste. So this is the end of the yoga class. And I said the bonus part of this class is, and you can leave right now if you like, if you have other things to do. The bonus part is that I'm available now to answer some questions. If you have a question about the practice that we did right now, or if you have a question about something that happened in your body, maybe you felt a different sensation. I'm gonna come a little closer now so I can see it. So there is nobody live here right now, so I'm gonna stay a little bit and just to get a feeling of what that might be, that after bonus part of the class. Good to take a sip. So just to give you a little idea, a little tip I want to give you right now is I have my bottle with me, and what's in the bottle is water, but it's warm water. It's tea warm water, and I sip it throughout the day. Actually, I have this bottle with me when I'm sitting on the computer. I have this bottle with me when I sit on the couch. I have this bottle with me when I go out to the store or wherever, and I sip warm water throughout the day. And the reason is to sip warm water, no matter what the climate is, actually, because the warm water is absorbed much easier into the body than cold water. So a teacher of mine one time explained it really nicely. And why that the case is, imagine if we have dryness inside of the body, you have dryness in the body if you have constipation. That means the body, the inside, the colon, the digestive system is dry. And sometimes people that are very dry on the inside, they drink water, a glass of water, and 5 minutes later they go to the toilet and it comes right out. And that shows that the water just goes through. It actually doesn't hardly get absorbed. And the reason is because it's dry inside. The tissues are dry. So to give you an example what that means, imagine you have a piece of leather that's a dry piece of leather and you pour cold water on that leather. What happens is it's going to roll off. It's not going to make a big difference in that leather. It's going to roll off before it can actually penetrate into the leather. Now, if you have the same dry leather, but you pour really warm water on it, it's going to sink in more. It's going to be absorbed more because it's going to lubricate the tissue. It's going to lubricate that leather much quicker. So that's the same thing happening inside of the body. If the tissue is dry, cold water is just going to run off of it. But if the water is warm, or even to the point of a temperature of hot tea. But of course, you don't want to burn yourself, but really nice and warm, at least room temperature. Then it's going to get absorbed, and over time, you're going to lubricate your intestines. You're going to lubricate the GI tract, actually. So that's one tip. That's Ayurveda speaking here. And even in the hot season, you know, you never want to drink ice water. And some of you might have heard me that, but that's just how it is. I say things over and over again because they're important. And maybe you never have heard it. So ice water is really the opposite. Cold is contracting the body. So the tissues contract. And when you pour cold water into your stomach, it's like pouring cold water into a pot of boiling water that you want to boil. You want to boil a pasta, for example. The water needs to be rolling hot, rolling, boiling, rolling. What is it called? A rolling boil, yes. But if you pour now cold water into this rolling boiling water with the pasta in it, the temperature lowers and the pasta is not boiling anymore. And if that happens, you get really sticky pasta. It's not going to be really cooked properly. So the same thing happens in the stomach. The stomach is basically a pot where we cook food in. The stomach is cooking, breaking down the food. So if you drink ice cold water, cold water while you eat or at any time, it lowers the temperature in your digestion, in your stomach, and the digestive capacity is getting lowered down. It's not cooking as well anymore. And the food that we digest is not going to be digested as well. And then what happens, it's producing ama or toxins. Ama is a word, Sanskrit word for toxins. So the food that is not digested, it's going to keep on going through the GI tract, but it's not really getting absorbed properly, but it turns and it kind of starts to rot away in there because it's not broken down correctly. And then it can't be used for nutrients, and then it collects as ama or toxins in the body. And to avoid that is to keep the digestion really, function properly. You want to keep your fire going at all times. You want to have a good appetite when you eat, and you want to be hungry when you eat. That means the fire is burning. You are ready for digestion. And one thing to help that is to first of all, not drink a lot during eating. You can sip a little bit before and after, but during the meal, not a lot unless you're really thirsty or there's something that you need to wash down, but like a couple of sips, not like glasses of water or glasses of wine or glasses of beer, is all diluting the juices that digest your food. After the meal, it's better not to drink like for half an hour or so, because you want to really keep that cooking for a while. And then after half an hour or so, you can sip a little bit. And after an hour, it's even better, then you can drink. So just simple things that make a lot of sense. And some of that actually we heard as children, like when I grew up, we never drank anything during a meal. There was we had nothing on the table, no glasses on the table when we ate. So people knew instinctively they were more connected with nature or their natural instincts, and they did things that were natural to them, even though they didn't study Ayurveda. But Ayurveda is basically the law, teaches the law of nature in the sense, what is actually natural to do according to what's happening in your body at given time. So to go specific into an individual's problems or indigestions or stresses or insomnia and things like that, that's what I do in an Ayurvedic consultation. That's on a one-on-one consultation where I can individually dig into what is going on with the person, because we all have a little bit different things going on and constitutions from naturally. But that's what I do in my Ayurvedic consultations. And they are 75 minutes long. So there's time to talk and discuss things. I teach you, I explain things, the recommendations that I give you. There's actually also a good amount of information given before. So I send you intake forms that you fill out beforehand. So I get an idea what's actually happening in your life, in your digestion, in your habits, in your daily habits. So I already can get a picture of like an bird's view, so to speak, of what your issues are. You're going to tell me your 3 top issues. And then when we meet on Zoom, it's a Zoom consultation, then we hone into even more details, and we can talk directly. So it's very detailed, very individual, and it's very much geared to the unique individuality of a person. So it's a 75-minute session, and it's $95 for one single session. I have a package deal of 3 sessions for $250. You get a better deal that way. Normally, one session is recommended for 2 months, so you would have 6 months to use up those 3 sessions. However, it could be also that if you are new and you start out, you would actually want to come back after a month and say, okay, this is working, this is not working, and then we adjust. That's what we basically do in Ayurvedic consultations. When the client comes back, we see, what did you like, what did you not like, what did work, what didn't work, and then we adjust accordingly. So in the beginning, maybe it's needed to come back after a month to adjust, and then every other month, or you go for 2 months right away. It depends, but you have 6 months to use up 3 sessions basically. And yeah, so that's the more individual approach for problems that are individual, and I specialize on the digestive issues, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, heartburn, IBS, things like that, anything that has to do with digestion, and also stress and insomnia. So if you feel like that would be something for you, reach out to me, yoga.with.irmi.com. I'm always on Facebook, or you can respond to the email that I'm going to send that recording in. Otherwise, we can see each other next Friday. So this is a weekly class now, every Friday at 11 Eastern Daylight Time. So if you like this class, if you want to come back, let me know, and I'm gonna send a Zoom link out again. You can pay like you did today, and then we see each other next Friday. That was really fun. If you had any other questions, I would be still here for you. So maybe next time we can be here longer. Namaste. Thank you for chiming in. Enjoy your day, and see you next time. Namaste.